You're watching the 2020 SCAC Spring Media Days. Today we're taking a look at the Southwestern University baseball program. The Pirates coming off a 24-19 season a year ago, 10-8 in SCAC play, another trip to the SCAC tournament. The Pirates will once again be led by head coach J.C. Bunch, along with senior third baseman Daniel Montgomery Jr. And Coach Daniel, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Coach, we'll get started with you. Going into your third season there at Southwestern, what are the biggest challenges when getting prepared for a new season, and how do you attack those challenges as a coaching staff throughout this preseason portion of the year as you get ramped up for a new go?
I'd say the biggest challenges this year are dealing with some expectations. You know, we had a pretty good year last year, one of the best we've had in a long time at Southwestern baseball, and so now, you know, there's a little bit of this is what we're supposed to do, or, you know, these are the expectations, and with expectations comes a little bit of added pressure. You know, and so dealing with those, you know, veteran ball club lost 3 guys from our lineup, but, you know, return a bulk of the guys that played last year. Return, you know, almost our entire pitching staff. You know, so veteran ball club. Hopefully, the veteran leadership, you know, will show up and help me handle those expectations and, you know, the added pressure that comes with winning a little bit.
Daniel, Coach talks about that veteran club and sort of those handling those expectations. You're obviously a huge part of that leadership core that he'll lean on. 100-plus at-bats over the previous 3 seasons for you. Your fingerprints are all over the makeup of this team. But what feels different this year as a senior? How are you kind of embracing those challenges, and do you feel a little bit of an urgency going into this senior season?
I just got to take it like one day at a time. I feel like our chemistry's starting to get there. I think the team's kind of closer, getting to be closer than we kind of ever have. Just the main thing is we got a bunch of new guys, young guys, and so just getting them accustomed to college and all that stuff. But I think the chemistry is going to come along well.
Coach, talk about this lineup a little bit. You got 3 guys that return with 50-plus hits a season ago in Seth Sparks, Brian Dowdle, and the guy, of course, sitting next to you. You know, where are the strengths going to come from this group, and how do you see it taking shape as this season gets ready to get going?
You know, it's always a projection at this point, and you're hoping guys can play up to their potential. You know, I think we got a chance to be a really balanced lineup. Some guys that can bang the ball a little bit. Some guys that know how to pick up hits. You know, obviously we'll count on you know, some new players to fill the role, either guys that haven't had the chance to start before, or, you know, freshmen. And so, you know, you kind of see how that's all going to piece together and fit together. But, you know, from top to bottom, you know, like I said, we got some guys that I think can put up some pretty good power numbers, and then some guys that can, you know, collect hits and hopefully be on base when those guys that can drive the ball decide to drive the ball.
Daniel, you're coming off a career year a season ago in which you earned first-team All-SCAC honors, career highs in at-bats with 165, runs 48, hits 60, doubles 15, triples 4, home runs 9, RBI 45, average 364, OBP 485, and slugging 667. You know, that being said, what have you worked on through the course of the offseason, through fall ball, to continue and improve your game as you get prepared for your senior year?
Just the main thing is getting better at what I'm not good at, and when I get it, not missing my pitch. And that's what I kind of struggled with last year, was through some of the season, was not trying to do too much. And that's one thing that I've been trying to drill myself on so far this fall and early this spring, is just relaxing and not trying to force myself to produce.
Coach, a year ago we sat here and talked about kind of the idea of continuing to build your roster to get your program to a point where you can do things to continue to just take steps in the right direction, whether it's in practice and seeing live pitching and those types of things that you want to try and accomplish. You bring in 25-plus freshmen, I think, this year, another huge recruiting class. You know, speak to this new group of players that you've brought in. What do you expect to sort of see from freshmen in their first couple of weeks of college ball, and what have you seen from them that gives you confidence?
You know, well, first 2 or 3 weeks, I think they finally were able to understand what I talk about when I say that, you know, you got to commit yourself to what we're going to do in practice. From 7 a.m. weights 4 days a week to a 5-hour practice that we have, 6 days a week. And so throw them into the deep end kind of mentality is where they're getting through right now, and they're kind of seeing what it takes and realizing they can do it, and there's enough time in the day to be good at academics and be good at baseball if they manage their time correctly. And so we're kind of through that phase now, and now they're starting to play. We've seen some big deals and good things out of that freshman group right now. I think 2 or 3 or 4 could push for playing time early, both as in the lineup and then on the mound. And so it's always different when you put on a uniform and you have umpires and you play against somebody else than say a normal inter squad. Baseball shouldn't be different. Inter squad, on a Wednesday is the same as a Tuesday midweek game. Is the same as a conference tournament when you boil it down to pitcher versus hitter. But there's always a little bit of nerves that go with it when you're new. And so the first couple series, I'm sure we'll have some freshmen that get a little case of the nerves, and we'll see how they handle being in a college baseball game. But we're pretty excited with the class we brought in and the talent that we have, and so we'll see how it goes.
Daniel, this Pirates baseball team a season ago was the top team in the SCAC in terms of fielding percentage with a .969 fielding percentage clip. How do you continue that trend this year? What is key to being a good defensive baseball team, and how important is that to kind of giving your pitchers confidence when they're out there on the mound?
Just as a defense, you always just got to be on your toes and be expecting the ball hit to you every single time. I think for the most part, our pitchers, like Colton's really good at it, just filling up the zone, and he keeps us off of our heels. So just being ready, and that's your job, is to back up the guy on the mound.
Coach, you talked earlier about this pitching staff and bringing back a huge number of the guys that threw for you last year. Speak to the way your staff is shaping up this season. I would imagine it starts with reigning SCAC Pitcher of the Year, Austin Smith, but you got a lot of talent coming back. How is it starting to shape up, and what gives you confidence with that group?
We've really challenged them this year to attack the strike zone and be a pitcher that in a pitching staff where our reputation is going to be, they're going to come right after you. I don't want our guys to nibble. Just be better than the opposing hitter. Be it in inter squads or when we start to play games. Obviously Austin's gonna do what he does. He's a special, unique, once in a long time program type of pitcher. And he's gonna do what he's done for the previous 2 years, which is go out and give us a chance to beat any team that we play whenever he's on the mound. The guys behind him and Colton, and we had 2 freshmen get a bunch of innings last year, and Ben Ludwig and Travis Harvey, both are a year older, both pitched in a pretty good summer league this summer, so they've got more experience, and that's going to be huge when it comes to conference series, because for a while we did a pretty good job of winning series, but then down the stretch we didn't win as many series as we would have liked, and so we can't count on Austin to win more than 1 game in a series, so we need to find, some arms and abilities to win games after he pitches.
Finally, Daniel, to wrap things up with you, as you've had conversations with some of your teammates about some of the goals and expectations for this 2020 season, what have those conversations looked like, and what are some of those goals as you head into this season?
Just going out there and try to win by every inning. And the end goal for us is obviously to try to make a regional. And if we make a regional, then it goes to winning the national championship. So we build our bases off of showing up to morning weights. That's a big part of our program and what we do here. So that's one thing that I talk to the team about, showing up ready to go every day and just winning it inning by inning.
And finally, Coach, to wrap things up with you, this season is successful of what plays out on the diamond for your guys. What are you looking for from this group as they continue to take steps in that right direction as you've sort of, built to your foundation and culture there at Southwestern?
Sure. It's the old cliches, like they're cliches for a reason. Like, can we, like Dan said, win every inning? Can we, control what you can control? And there's 1,000 different cliches, but they're all true. and if you can do that and play against the game and things that, we've talked to our players since we got here on how you win the game of baseball, and that it doesn't matter who you play, can you beat the game of baseball, and can you be humble, and can you do the little things, and, all of those. Me personally, I'm not a huge goals guy. It got me in trouble once in my playing career, and I really haven't done it since. And so, a successful season here would be, guys getting a chance to play at the next level when we're done. Players setting a goal and then going after it. And then whenever our season's done, if the players can look back and be like, yeah, we went for it, then it'll be a successful season in my eyes.
Southwestern University baseball program. Again, the Pirates will open up the 2020 campaign on February 14th when they take on Sul Ross State. Southwestern, again, will be led by head coach J.C. Bunch along with senior third baseman Daniel Montgomery Jr. Coach, Daniel, thanks so much for joining us today, and best of luck as you head into the season.
Thanks, Russell.
Thank you.